The United States recently introduced a new peace proposal for the war between Ukraine and Russia. Today, we will break down what this proposal includes, why it has become controversial, and what it might mean for the future of Europe and global security. Let us begin. The war in Ukraine has continued since the year 2022. It has destroyed cities, separated families, and forced millions of people to leave their homes. It has also created major tension between Russia and Western countries. Because of these pressures, the United States prepared a peace plan. The first version of the plan included 28 points. It aimed to stop the fighting, create a long-term security framework, and begin economic recovery for Ukraine. However, many of the points quickly became the center of debate. Some parts suggested restricting the size and structure of the Ukrainian military. Some parts suggested that Ukraine should not join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Other parts mentioned territorial compromises based on current lines of control. To Ukraine and to many European countries, these ideas were seen as risky. They worried that the plan could reward aggression. They feared it could encourage other powerful nations to change borders by force. European leaders spoke out strongly. They said that any peace deal must respect the independence and territorial integrity of Ukraine. They warned that forcing Ukraine to accept losses could create instability for decades. Because of these concerns, the United States adjusted the plan. The 28 points were reduced to around 19 points. Some of the most controversial ideas were removed. Others were rewritten to reduce political pressure on Ukraine. Still, the updated version did not solve everything. Ukraine said it was open to further discussion. Its leaders said they wanted a plan that guarantees long-term security. They also said any agreement must protect Ukrainian sovereignty. Russia responded very differently. Russian officials insisted that Ukraine must withdraw from several regions. They demanded that Ukraine accept the current lines of control. They also said that Ukraine must remove all Western military influence. Because of these demands, the gap between the two sides remains extremely wide. Even while peace ideas are being discussed, the fighting on the ground continues. Artillery strikes continue. Frontline towns remain under pressure, and both sides experience casualties almost every day. This shows how difficult the peace process truly is. Some analysts believe Russia might use peace negotiations as a strategy. They think Russia could talk about peace while trying to strengthen its military position. They warn that this could lead to a temporary pause in conflict instead of real peace. There are also long-term risks if the plan is not built carefully. If Ukraine is forced to accept territorial losses, the conflict could return later. If Russia feels encouraged, it might pressure its neighbors again in the future. And if the West appears divided, Russia may try to take advantage of the situation. This is why European allies are cautious. They say any plan must protect Ukraine's right to decide its own future. They also say peace cannot be created through fear or pressure. It must be built on fairness and international law. The United States understands these concerns, but it also wants to end the war before it escalates further. American leaders believe that long wars strain global security. They also believe the conflict affects international trade, food supply, and energy markets. So the pressure to find a solution is increasing. But finding a solution does not mean accepting a weak deal. It means creating a framework that prevents future conflict, a framework that keeps Europe stable, and a framework that allows Ukraine to rebuild. Right now, it is unclear whether Russia truly wants peace. It is also unclear how much Ukraine is willing to compromise. Both sides have lost thousands of lives. Both sides have suffered economic damage. And both sides feel that their national survival is at stake. This makes negotiations extremely complex. So what might happen next? There are three possible outcomes. The first outcome is a negotiated ceasefire. This would stop the fighting but may not solve the deeper issues. The second outcome is a long war with no clear winner. This would continue to exhaust both countries and increase global tension. The third outcome is a comprehensive peace deal. This is the most hopeful option but also the most difficult to achieve. It requires trust, it requires international support, and it requires both sides to make compromises they may not want to make. For now, the world watches and waits. People hope that the suffering will end. Families hope they can return to their homes, and leaders hope they can prevent the conflict from spreading further. The path to peace is still uncertain, but every negotiation, every discussion, and every diplomatic effort brings us one step closer. Thank you for spending time with this analysis. If you want more videos that explain world events in a clear and balanced way, please like this video. Leave a comment and share your thoughts about the peace plan. And subscribe to support the channel and follow the next updates. Your support helps us reach more people. Thank you again for watching.